And we're back with Absolute Batman, issue number 8, part 2. If you need to get caught up on issue 8, part 1, you'll find that video right over here on my page. But without further ado, let's go with part 2. Issue 8, part 1, had ended on quite the cliffhanger. Bruce Wayne, under disguise, had gone to this company owned by Victor Freeze, and then before he even realized it, Victor Freeze had transformed into his monstrous Mr. Freeze form and attacked Bruce Wayne. One of Bruce Wayne's childhood friends, Matches Malone, had made some kind of connection between Victor Freeze's company corporation, I think it's called V-Corp? But like I said, Matches Malone, Bruce Wayne's friend, he'd made some kind of connection between Victor Freeze's company and Arkham. Basically, this black site just off the coast of Gotham City. A black site that kind of more or less is going to ultimately become Arkham Asylum. Unfortunately for Matches Malone, he found himself in someone's crosshairs, Victor Freeze, because some kind of ancient preserved bacteria preserved for millions of years in ice had been essentially weaponized by Victor Freeze and his corporation. This bacteria unalived Matches Malone in the previous issue, hence why Bruce Wayne followed the trail and came here and ultimately got attacked by Mr. Freeze himself. And Mr. Freeze here is actually preparing to freeze Bruce Wayne just as he himself once upon a time was frozen in ice. A process of which Mr. Freeze goes on to explain is going to be absolute hell, but you know, maybe after 30 years or so, he might come to love the pain, much like how Mr. Freeze himself did when he too was frozen, like I said. Preservation of a human body by just straight up freezing them, this is actually something we do right here in reality. Only when we do that to those people, I believe they've already passed along. But here, yeah, people can actually be frozen alive, and that's ultimately the fate that Bruce Wayne finds himself about to be experiencing. I would sooner walk a mile across broken glass. I would walk across hot coals barefoot before I would suffer this fate. No thank you. As Bruce Wayne quite literally begins to struggle, and by the way, the process of him being frozen because of the hypothermia, at first it feels like your skin's on fire, but then lo and behold, the pain begins to fade away as you're quite literally being frozen alive. But as that very painful experience has begun for Bruce Wayne, he has a flashback of more recent events just before this whole entire nightmare began, when he was holding a vigil with his best friends for his late friend Matches Malone. A vigil for Matches Malone that kind of went and became a little violent, considering Bruce Wayne's best friends in this verse, which don't forget are actually villains before they even became villains. Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc, Two-Face, Riddler, and Penguin. Bruce Wayne recounts the argument he had with all of his friends, specifically Waylon Jones. The argument that his friends are making, you essentially have a death wish as Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne secretly being Batman. We don't want you to have a death wish, but you're keeping us at arm's length, preventing us, your friends, from helping you out because, well, you know, we're your friends at the end of the day. We don't want anything to happen to you, but you can't keep us at arm's length. You have to let us in. You have to let us help Batman. This is kind of something, an argument that happens at one point or another between Bruce Wayne and the other members of the Bat family, Nightwing, Red Hood, Batwoman, but here it's happening with his other friends who traditionally are his villains. All while Bruce Wayne is processing this past argument, he activates the cast that Victor Freeze unfortunately made the oopsie mistake of leaving attached to Bruce Wayne's arm. This cast being a necessity from the previous issues when he fought Black Mask. And this cast, it's a straight-up battering crossbow launcher. Processing the argument with his friends and then going recounting past events such as the unfortunate, devastating day that went down in history for Gotham City, the incident at the zoo where Bruce Wayne lost his father in this verse. He's processing all of this while activating that crossbow launcher with the batarangs and sets himself free. This is when we cut over to Mr. Freeze. And can I just say, this monstrous interpretation of Mr. Freeze, kind of like a, I can't help but make the connection of him being something like a Wendigo because of the extended long limbs he had, like the Wendigos from Until Dawn, that video game. Victor Freeze here is having a conversation and is explaining that the snow that's currently, you know, the whole snowstorm happening in Gotham City right now, it's actually because of Mr. Freeze, and it's some kind of chemical agent that's creating some type of tracking element to the people that come into contact with the snow. Their genetic information is being stored and transferred to whoever it is Mr. Freeze is talking to. We don't get the identity revealed to whoever it is being sent all this genetic information about basically every single person in Gotham City, but more than likely, Mr. Freeze is talking to the Joker here in this verse. And don't forget, the Joker in this verse, he's called the man that just doesn't ever laugh or something like that. But more importantly than that, the Joker in this verse, he's like in the top 10 wealthiest people on the planet. So just as Mr. Freeze is saying, basically going on the supervillain monologue of nothing can stop us, nothing's gonna happen, then all of a sudden Batman pulls up and just poof, breaks down the whole entire door. Knock, knock. Armed not with a flamethrower, but more like a miniature-scale torch connected to his fist, Batman decides to throw hands with this monstrous interpretation of Mr. Freeze. Now, unfortunately, the whole entire mutation done to Mr. Freeze's body, yeah, it's made him very, how can I put this, combat ready. Even with the advantage of his cape, the tendrils on Batman's cape being freely capable of manipulated, kind of like it's alive, yeah, Mr. Freeze is fast, he's agile, he can evade these attacks, and worst of all, he's incredibly strong. So strong, he can seemingly crawl on the walls and the ceiling, and then, yeah, this Mr. Freeze can do this. I assume with the armor, Batman in this verse is like, what, 310, 300, and somewhere between 310, 350 pounds? And yeah, this is how strong this Mr. Freeze is. You might need help with this one, Bats. And that also returns back to what Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc, traditionally is telling Batman, you can't do this on your own, especially considering Mr. Freeze activates all the other cryogenically frozen people who more or less were trying to escape death, but ultimately they've found a fate worse than death, aka frozen zombies. Frozen trying to preserve their lives, possibly frozen because there wasn't a cure for any type of ailment they had previously, and now they wake up and now they're basically Mr. Freeze's puppets. One minute you're fighting for your life against a monster, the next you're fighting an entire horde of monsters. God, I love the Absolute run. The final flashback to the Vigil and ultimately just them respecting the passing of their friend matches Malone. Bruce Wayne realizes, yeah, I don't have a death wish. I might need help from time to time from my friends. Realizing he's outnumbered and that there's a serious threat for Gotham City that's quite literally in the snow, it's time to get out. So Batman throws himself out of the building. Batman then calls up Waylon Jones and tells him two very important things. One, you were right about the whole argument, whenever we were talking about matches. But two, and more importantly, there's something wrong with the snow. But before Waylon Jones can even get the message, we cut over to Waylon Jones at his gym, Croc's gym. He gets got. Two people sneak up on him and knock him out. These two individuals that ultimately knocked out Waylon Jones run a quick test on his blood, and they reveal that he's a perfect specimen. So more than likely, Waylon Jones is going to be taken to the Arc M location, this black site off the coast of Gotham City that's more or less the interpretation of Arkham Asylum in the Absolute verse. And here, more than likely, Waylon Jones is going to be experimented upon becoming Killer Croc. They're definitely building up to something big in this verse, because what's the whole point of experimenting and transforming these people possibly into their supervillain interpretations, such as Waylon Jones and Killer Croc? I mean, the goal can't just be as simple as making an army to, I don't know, take over Gotham City or something. No, there's something more at play here. Whatever that is, I'm excited to see what it is. And don't forget, Batman didn't defeat Mr. Freeze, and we still haven't even gotten Bane here, even though Joker basically hired him, and he's on his way to Gotham City. But this was issue 8, part 2. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to follow, like, comment, and I wanted to say also before the video ends, thank you once again. Thank all of you for what you've done. We are this close to 1,000 followers right here on TikTok, 1,000 patients at the Asylum. Thank you! One final time, though, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll hopefully see y'all in the next one.